Basically, I think Thames Telly had thought, well, we don't really want to keep buying in Sesame Street, which was quite expensive, I think, for an American programme to show on telly. But why don't we make our own? We can probably do it cheap. Right? When I was still working at the Little Angel Theatre, this would be about 1970, there was a knock at the workshop door, and the workshop's right next door to the theatre. And I was having some puppets made, and the founder-director, John Wright, who was alive still then, was working in the workshop. I was having the puppets made, and I was having a look, and and the knock, and it was Pamela Lonsdale. Before the programme had started, right. She was doing a sort of recce, I suppose, of puppeteers, and she thought, well, Little Angel Theatre, that's the puppet theatre. It's it's been around for a few years. I'll go there. She chatted to John Wright at one end of the workshop. Is a sort of brown-looking, potato-looking thing, but it had a zip across its mouth. Now, I've got no proof whatsoever of this, but I like to think that the researcher saw that and thought, that's quite an interesting idea, and probably wrote it down on a note. Or, he just did that, and I could put my other hand in and do the arms. The first puppeteer was a lady called Violet Philpott. That's Violet Philpott larking around with her husband, Panto. See, I knew her this is me as a kid, you see, so. And she was a mentor of mine, actually. She taught me sort of a lot about glove puppets and stuff. Violet, bless her, had pulled a disc or something in her back while doing the programme, because the monitor was over here, you were facing here, and she was doing the puppet, if you can sort of see, with the one arm and maybe the stuffed arm there. And she was twisting her back, looking up, with her head not showing, obviously, in the thing. And I think that probably did do her back. So she was unable to continue doing the rest of the series. So my friend John Thurtle, John phoned me and said, look, I can't continue doing the series. I've got other work going on. Ronnie, you'd be the best person to take over. Come down and come and meet Pamela. And I said, oh, are you sure? My goodness. And we went down, basically they invited me to lunch, which was quite nice. I met the cast. I'd already seen the show, of course. So it was Geoffrey and it was Bungle and and all the characters. Of course, John was there, and this lovely puppeteer Valerie Heberden, who was doing the puppeteering George, and then Pamela came out of the box and said, oh, do come round, let's have a little meeting or something. And she was actually she was quite formidable, but then in those days, and I think in the days of television in that sort of time, women producers or women basically in telly who had quite high, jobs, were very, there wasn't so many. There was very rare.
You got the job on the
and I got the job.
Oh yes, fantastic, Cowler.
Contract. It was about £125. That was a fortune. I thought I'm going to buy my mum a ticket, because my mother was living in South London at the time, and I bought her a telly, a colour telly. She never had a colour telly. And basically, I did it for 20 years. It just carried on.
I like dogs, and I don't stroke dogs, I pat them, like this, George.
Hello everybody, it's Zippy here. Oh, lovely to see you. Now, I've forgotten your names, I can't. So, that is, oh dear, I forgot your name, cameraman. What's your name?
Sean.
Oh, Sean, and that's Michael! Yeah, I nearly got it right. Anyway, nice to see you nice, as Bruce Forsyth used to say. I never met him, of course.
And people say, oh, is he a frog? Is he some sort of space animal? So I said, no, Zippy and, in fact, Roy Skelton and I.
Now you shut up, George. No, I'm not, yes you are. No, I'm not, because you now listen, I'm rich.
So we decided we'd call him a unique. So he's just called a unique. And that covers everything, really.
It could be whatever you want.
We
thought it was a bag at first.
Yeah, well, there you go. Couldn't it? A zip, we were sort of like about that year, from the beginning of that year, things at Thames, certainly at Teddington Studios where we were, it was quietening down a bit. Yeah, Carlton won it.
Right.
You see, so Carlton Television won the franchise and took over that, the Monday to Fridays.
Sense,
and London Weekend had already, got the weekend telly. And that's when, basically Rainbow finished, because anything at Thames, just stopped.
It's a cult, but we can't get back on the air at the moment.
It wasn't brought back till a few years later.
So exciting running our very own toy shop.
Yes, and we promised Mr. Top, the man who owns the shop, that we would work very hard, George.
Alan Horrocks, he moved it over to his own film company, which is called Tetra Films.
That's right, yeah.
They changed the puppets
Right.
slightly. I mean, Zippy had movable eyes,
Yeah.
if you've seen that. Very different. I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't have presenter, we didn't have musicians, and a new-looking bungle as well.
Yeah, with
And-
you're also voicing him, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm voicing him.
Oh, yes, fantastic, Cola.
John Thurtle told me, he said, oh, they're auditioning for Zippy, and Ron, you've got to go.
Yeah.
Daft, you know, if you don't do it.
Yeah.
Saw the producer, and then he said, well, you know, let's see. And so, oh, this is my sort of Zippy type
Yeah.
voice. I mean, I'd heard it in my head for so long.
Now you shut up, George, because no, I'm not good. Yes, you are. No, I'm not.
Sat from right, so I knew it was in the front of the back.
I got the audition, they said yes.
Oh, yes, fantastic, Cola.
There was a time when that was all being set up with Tetra to Jeffrey and it was Malcolm and Roy. They weren't used for, and the reason Alan Horrocks, and funny, I think they were more complaining to Alan Horrocks in a way, who they knew because he was head of Thames.
Yeah.
Just, you know, it is his decision, his thing. He said, decided, or him, and whoever, you know,
Yeah.
decided that they wouldn't have presenter. That, you know, keep the costs down. They didn't have the money like Thames had.
Yeah.
And Ron, you know, and they did sort of say, oh, you know, they've only used one puppeteer from the original. He's the only original
Yeah.
thing they've used. Why not use us? So you might worry that Jeffrey might be a bit off with you.
Yeah.
You know, I hadn't seen him for years. So I did arrive, and Jeffrey was a bit, oh, hello, Ronnie. You know, Jeffrey, we've got to clear this up.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, Jeffrey, can I talk to you? And I did in the dressing room, and just said, look, and I auditioned for the part. I wasn't given it on a
Yeah.
plate. He, bless him, he was fine after that, and that was resolved. I think we needed that.
Yeah.
Craig Crane,
Yeah.
and he did George, and he did a different type voice, a much more sort of squeakier voice sort of thing.
Oh, yes. Oh, how should I know? I mean, I don't know.
And I'm terribly sorry. I
Richard
forgot.
Robinson?
Richard Robinson was Bungle.
Yeah.
And Richard had done
Riddlers.
Thank you so much, the Riddlers. Sadly, he didn't last all that long because I think he had much more say in the Riddlers than he did in
Rainbow.
and there was a few clashes. Now, Cleo the Rabbit was made by Richard Robertson
Right.
as a sort of, Cleo came in as basically as a shopper in the toy shop because they needed somebody to come in to buy something, or else it'd be a bit boring. And Gilly Robic, who was the puppeteer for that, and Gilly, I remember saying to me, "Oh gosh, this puppet, I can't seem to get anything from it." And it was very hard because she knew Richard very well, and you know you didn't want to say Richard, you know, you've made a boring old puppet here. And they put quite a lot of money into it. I mean, as far as sets and things, we were in the shop.
Yeah, the
we had a
kitchen.
kitchen scene. We had an attic scene or
The
somewhere.
basement, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I know we shared it with what's it called? Wizardora.
Yeah.
Wizardora did it. Used the same studios
All right,
at
yeah.
one, 2 days a week or something, and then we did it the other 2 days
Oh,
or
it's
something
the
like
same
that.
space,
Yeah,
yeah.
the same space. So they just cleared the Wizardora stuff out the way and put the rainbow.
cool, yeah.
And it was.
I loved it.
Yeah, people say, oh, they much prefer the original rainbow, but then there was more of those rainbow in the shop.
Yeah.
When we brought back Rainbow Days,
Rainbow Days.
and that was filmed in a school in Wandsworth.
Rainbow Days. What will today be on Rainbow Days?
and it was a single camera. I mean, it was
With the sofa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we had the sofa, we had the window set.
Yeah, trying to like bring it back to what it
Yeah,
was.
they did,
Yeah.
and they brought Dale Somerville in.
Somerville, yeah.
1, 2, 3. Give it 3 knocks.
It was lovely, and because he could sing and play the guitar, a bit more like how it used to be.
Trying to get it back.
You know,
Noisy!
we got another chap to do Bungalow after that series
Paul,
finished.
was it?
Paul Cole.
Yeah.
Paul Cullen or something. That's right.
Yeah.
And he's lovely. I'd still,
Yeah.
I mean, every Christmas we send an email, say happy, you know,
Yeah.
hope you're all right, Paul. The sort of a rainbow is just carrying on because the different generations. I mean, there was 20 years, so there was so many different generations who watched it.
Yeah.
Their children are watching it. Grandparents probably first watched it. But I mean, it's extraordinary, and because of social media, because of YouTube and all those streaming things, it's there. It's not gone.
Now you shut up, George Cricket. No, I'm not good. Yes, you are. No, I'm not, because you now listen. I'm Rick. I can't tell you what.
Geoffrey, me with Geoffrey, early days of Rainbow, you know, looking out the window with a Zippy puppet. When Geoffrey died, I got phoned up by all the television news companies to
And there was sad news here today too, with the announcement that Geoffrey Hayes, host of the children's TV programme Rainbow, has died at the age of 76.
Loud actor or anything like that. He was really gentle and very kindly, and we all loved him dearly.
Taking the fact that he was sharing the screen with an oversized teddy bear, a pink hippo and a zip-faced creature in good humour.
It was nothing. Good night.
George,
Yes?
do you know where Zippy is?
No.
Oh yes, fantastic cola.
Rainbow.